Hey guys, welcome back to Rocketeer Motorsport here with another video. Chris already going straight around and into the barrier goes. So it's suggesting there's not much grip out there. Now on my first qualifying lap on the Super Sauce, the lap where it really matters, and see if we can count towards maybe our best lap of the weekend. I know I did a 44.4 I think it was in practice, so we've definitely got some sort of pace here as we're coming through the last corner. Then can we replicate it, put on the power nice and early, and it's a bit too early. Bit over exaggerated. Now one lap later then, this lap that we binned, and then we're going to go for this one, our final lap, because we're running out of fuel here with 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Let's see what we can do then. Up to 6th gear on the straight, hit the apex there at turn 1, otherwise you'll lose like 100 to the 10th, or yeah, I mean it's not much when you think about it, but it is at the end of the day. Was that a 45.5 from the house? That's not a good lap. I feel like that could easily get beaten. Although we've only done a 45.7, I feel like we can smash this lap time. As we're coming around then, around the this corner here, which is a tough one. You have to get it absolutely nailed, well, bang on, and make sure you're putting enough throttle in to keep momentum. It's looking alright so far, though. Missed the apex slightly there, which is going to cost us about 2/10 on the exit there, because you need to have the straight line speed going into this corner then, which we are taking very easily, as you can see, but we're hitting our marks here. So overall, this is not a bad lap. This is where I expect we'll gain some time on our previous lap time, and it's exactly what we have gained. Half a second, I think that is. Heading into this right hand, and then can we keep this lap together? And maybe even gain some more, because remember that final corner little incident, although we were late with the DRS deactivation point. Let's see what else we can do. Going into the right hand, well, first the left hander, which goes into a right hander here. Looking for the board on the left hand side, there's the board. We go purple as well, so we're going to be keeping the energy up here. So going to this left hand, and then clip the apex on the inside and on the outside before putting on the power, and then going down to gear 2 for this left and then the right corners here before heading into the penultimate corner for one last time. Can we improve our lap time? It's looking very much likely. Down into 2nd gear, you go up to 3rd. You can keep it in 3rd, but I chose not to that lap as I wanted to keep it together, and we don't lose the back end this time, so we cross the line to go P2, and that is a performance and a half, considering I didn't think we'd have any pace. I thought about going for another run, but as you can see here, already 100 down. But because people beat their lap times, we're starting P5. Not the end of the day, just something to keep an eye out. J Pilkey invalidating. In fact, no, Mr. Tomcat there would be on pole if he didn't invalidate his last run. So that's interesting to see. It's on the formation lap, we've got a spinner, and of course it's our teammate. It's either me or my teammate spinning around in this championship, and it's my teammate this time round. Here we go then for race 1 at Baku. 5 red lights, and away we go for the Baku Grand Prix. And we've got a very decent start indeed. Looks like we're going to be able to get maybe Tomcat on the left hand side here and get ourselves into a P4 position. It's exactly what's happened. Gunn giving us a slipstream instead of his teammate. Interesting choice. And we're not going to put it into 3 wides. Instead we break early and lose a load of positions. Track limits are plenty by Tomcat for no reason at all, gaining an unfair advantage on us, I feel. Probably should have given that back to us. Anyway, moving on with this race. Tipping into turn 4, I believe this one is. Tricky corner, it's probably the most difficult corner on the course. But it's alright, turn 1, someone white, really wide in the background. I think that's Caesar in that Dam's car. Now moving on to lap 2 in this race. Tipping into turn 1, you want to hit the apex again here. See if we can close in on one of the 2 guys in front of us. It looks like Gunner Gamer. But it looks like the attention behind us is where we should be focusing. Because it looks like Mr. Interlagos is all over our back end to see what he can do. As we go through this left-hander, break a tad early going into the corner, we still missed the apex. But I have a feeling that Interlagos may have clipped us slightly. It might not have been any contact. But Interlagos definitely losing out big time there by almost hitting us. So I'm guessing this is his breaking point there. Now it's time for the pit lane. Engineer saying it's clear and we can do this, as Joe's obviously staying out for another lap. We pit then and into the pits. Make sure you don't go in red on your thing. And it's exactly what we've done. And we are pitting. And look at that, Gunn's already got a 3-second penalty. Caesar hasn't. Neither have I. So that is crucial for this race. We've got a jump. Hopefully we jump Caesar and Interlagos in the pits when they pit around. But that's good pit stop from the guys. 5.6 seconds. Let's see what we can do from this point onwards. Moving on to lap 7, then literally 1 lap later after we pit, a couple of drivers in the pits. One was Tomcat, who in fact spun in one of his laps there. So we've managed to regain Tomcat's position which I feel is justified considering the turn 1 of him cutting across. Now to get into turn 1, then we keep the position, and we get Tomcat and D to get into P6. Moving on into turn 3, then you want to really go out wide and pin the car through here to hit the apex, which we kind of have. We've had to lift off quite a bit to keep the car in a one piece. Now going through the right hand up, put the power on like we have, and for some reason Tomcat's able to do all this much better than us. I don't know if it's a setup or whatever it is, but you see it, we lose the back end, so that's definitely going to cost us a lot of time compared to Tomcat, who is on the fresher tyres anyway. As we go through this right hander, then is Tomcat going to look for the move? Of course he is. Up the inside goes Tomcat on us, and he's forced us off the track again. Tomcat, getting corners, and now you're doing that. Yeah, I might be getting a bit frustrated with Tomcat in this one. Anyway, moving on, we make a huge mistake. I see this all over our rear end there. He tries to switch back, in fact, but it doesn't quite work because we managed to block that off nicely. Now heading into the corner, Caesar managed to hit us slightly there. That kind of unnerves me slightly. Now going into this final corner, looks like Tomcat has got the pace, but well, definitely more pace than what we've got. But it's between me and Caesar here on the straight. It's Caesar with the DRS Neo Girls before turn 1, and I hate to say it, but it's definitely looking likely. Meanwhile, heading into turn 1, Caesar carrying the momentum around the outside to get the move done before the braking zone. He does move across in the braking zone, but to be fair, I moved back to the racing line, so you know what, we'll let that one slide. And Caesar gets position nice and easily there. Now on lap 13 out of 14, it looks like all things done, we're getting a P6 in this Grand Prix, which is, at the end of the day, not what we're looking for. Beat our lap time again on that lap 13, but it just doesn't mean anything, because, as you can see, the gaps are just humongous. We've put in everything we can, and saying all this, those yellow flags and green flags, it looks like Joe Pilkey may have spun around here. Our teammate was battling for P1, possibly making contact with Howes at the front, and that is definitely going to not be any good in the Constructors' Championship if that has happened. Meanwhile, on the last lap of the race then, it looks like Dam's driver Young Howes wins race 1. We're going to do race 2 as well in this video, because why not? Heading around this corner, you want to be on the gas just like we are. Going up to 5th gear, before going into the penultimate corner here, staying in 3rd gear during the race to save the tyre wear, because why not? Going around the last corner then, we get P5 because Gunner Gamer had like 12 seconds of penalties. So that's good news for us in this race anyway. So at least be picking up something, which is not the best, but it's not the worst either. There will be some new drivers in the next round, which is in fact Abu Dhabi, which is not a great racetrack for me, as you're going to probably find out on Sunday when I do that race, if you decide to watch it on a stream somewhere, of maybe Caesar's. If you search up Caesar_Wizards or something along those lines, or I don't know what it is, but it's something along those lines. I'm sure he will let us know down below in the comment section what his stream is, or I'll find the information and put it down below if I remember. But there you go, penalties are plenty. Fastest lap going to Tomcat, which I have to admit I'm still a bit about. I feel like I could have reported that turn 1 incident, but, well, turn 2 technically, but yeah. Tomcat had penalties as well there, and so did Howes. We didn't get any penalties. So let's see what we can do against this lot. We're starting P4 for this Grand Prix in race 2, the back in race 2 that is underway here. Let's see what we can do. We get a very nice start on Gunner Gamer. Can we get Gun into going into turn 1? We can in fact get Gun. We're in fact in front of Gun as he moves across, and that was almost like a huge crash between me and Gun, because you could not be touching in these cars. Now heading into turn 1, we're going to dive bomb the inside of 2 cars. There's contact between all of us. We go around. Our teammate goes around as well. Why is it always the teammates? Now, it looks like there's contact for the back. Noah's around. Chris is in the wall as well. So we might see some few pit stops here if there's been lots and lots of damage. Young Howes getting the position on us because of our damage. We can't fight it. We've been pitting in this race. Well, the end of this lap, which I don't know if we should pit or not, to be honest. As Howes now goes off the track, leaves the door wide open for us, and we get P4 in this Grand Prix, heading into the right-hander, which is our inside. But with our damage, we're just going to oversteer into the path of Howes, make contact between the pair of us. We just have to give up the position here, and Caesar also gets through. Fair enough with Caesar. The gap just opened up. I can't do anything with this damage. We are going to make sure we are boxing the end of this race, at the end of this lap, and that could be race over from there. Joe right behind us then. our teammate who also spun. I don't know if he got any damage from that. There's a possibility. But yeah, now look at Wizard all over the back of House going into the right-hander here. AC's going to dive bomb the House. Definitely thought about it in front. Look, Niddy goes off the track, who in fact caused that turn 1 crash, or turn 2. It's 3 into 1, just, well, 3 into turn 2 doesn't go. Now heading into this left-hander, House goes for a spin, and he resets to track in fact. I found this information in theatre mode. So just remember that in mind, House has got a penalty for his reset. We are pitting though. This is the end of our race. Pitting on lap 1. I mean, with the amount of spinners there is, there's a possibility we might get a position or 2, I don't know. It's P9 though, and in the pits. Running front wing. So that's alright, as long as they put us on fresh tyres, which, as a disclaimer, they don't. They put us on 50% tyres, we have to pit again anyway, so already it's, yeah, you shouldn't pit in the second race, no matter what, no matter how much damage you got. Unless you got no front wing, it's probably still worth staying out. But it is what it is then. We pit for new tyres and it gives us 50% tyres. Not the end of the world, but not great either. So what's going on with our teammate then? This is what's going on with our teammate. Our teammate's crashed with Niddy. Niddy's gone off as well. And into the barrier goes Niddy, and he is out of the race, which gains us a position into P8. But after that, there was no safety car. Well, there was a virtual safety car, but that didn't really help us at all. So on lap 6, then a long way in the future, we're going to go fastest lap on the news turn, well, on the medium command tyres. We missed the apex into turn 1 slightly, which means it puts us on the curve for turn 2, and we go around. And disclaimer, that's not our only spin either. As you're going to see here, going into the right-hander, going down the gears, absolutely fine. Putting on the throttle here, absolutely fine. But it's the next corner, the tricky one, where if you go offline, exactly how we do, just slightly touching that exit curb, and it will send you into a spin and into the wall, and we've got more front wing damage. Moving on there with the super soft compound tyre here on lap 8, still going fast lap, because why the hell not, we've got nothing else to lose. We're in P8, the other guys have DNF'd. I mean, the only thing we have got to lose is P8 if we crash. But I don't see us crashing and losing all those positions, to be honest, well, all those points. Onto the curb go again, and we lose the rail into the wall again here, with red front wing. Now on the last lap of the Grand Prix, pushing one more time for fastest lap. And one more time, it doesn't work, and we go into the wall again. At this point, I've just given up with this. This Russia track is just not great. It definitely has not worked for our driving style. You can see us weaving around here. Just gonna, hopefully, bring it home. At this point, I'm frustrated with Tomcat in race 1. And then the incident in race 2, which wasn't our fault because we're on the inside. So that is the way it goes, just showing the fans how to drift an F2 car. The new F2 cars, by the way, what do I think of them? They're not that great. you put on the power too early, you spin, and it's all down to setup as well. Which I disagree with, considering it's such a spec class. In reality, and everyone's so close, how can there be a 1.6 second gap between me and the guys in front? That's the question you have to ask. Coming around the last corner then, we cross the line, backwards, in style, to pick up a P8. So we got P5, P8. Not good. That's like 18 points maybe, I don't know. I can't do maths. Young House gets driver of the day, but he in fact doesn't win the race as Tomcat gets the win due to penalties from House. Which, at the end of the day, House is winning the championship, so, I mean, technically we gain points there. And this is the first race weekend we're not champion leader anymore. We have been moved on from that. So, yeah. It just seems to be that me and Interlagos keep crashing, and it's not great to see at all. But that's the way it goes somehow. Great job to House winning again. Well, Tomcat, I suppose, won this one. And Gunner Gamer as well, getting penalty. And Joe Pilkey. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. All the races together, we just didn't do that great. So here's all the penalties from this race. I forgot to show race 1 penalties like that, but you get the gist. We're not happy. And we don't really need to be happy about that one. There was a load of crashing, a load of mistakes. At least I got Joe's point of view. I mean, it wasn't that great, I have to admit. I was expecting the app that I was using to be a little bit better than what it was. But you saw what happened. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.